scandal at LA City Hall. Councilmember Curren Price has stepped down from leadership roles.
Yeah, he's been charged with 10 counts of embezzlement, perjury, and conflict of interest. Among the allegation, Price's wife allegedly received payments totaling more than $150,000 between 2019 and 2021 from developers before Price voted to approve projects. He's also accused of failing to report the money his wife received on government disclosure forms.
It's disheartening to see the news just come out with Curren Price, fourth conviction in 4 years. These are my former colleagues. Again, when you're talking about having the ability to restore faith and trust and confidence between the people and local government, we're taking another step back.
Price says he's innocent and will work now to clear his name. Now, to discuss more about what this all means is former federal prosecutor and cybersecurity expert Bryan Cunningham. Bryan, thanks so much for being with us this morning to help us break this down. I want to start by asking you, how do you think former Councilman Price's team is going to be able to defend his case, and do you think he'll actually face some time for this? Bryan, it seems we're having a little issue with your microphone. I think we're just going to take a minute here to see if we can get you back up and going.
Sorry
Love
about
technology.
That.
There you go. Did you mute yourself? I remember the early days of Zoom when I was constantly muting myself. It's always fun.
Yeah, miracles of modern technology. Sorry about that. So
that's okay.
As I was saying to myself, apparently, the congressman is innocent, of course, until proven guilty. Most of these political and public corruption, abuse of power cases rise or fall on the criminal intent of the elected official. The strongest cases are ones where you have in explicit communications, as was with the case with the prior council members, sort of admitting what their intent is, or this may be the case in some of the Trump classified document cases. The embezzlement and perjury charges may be a little bit easier to prove because they can come down to just really ones and zeros and reviewing documents. If the councilman is convicted or even pleads guilty, I do suspect he will do some jail time because I don't think the district attorney's office is going to accept any plea that doesn't include some jail time. Most of these cases in recent years in California have been somewhere between 3 to 5 years.
So that's some significant time. I have to ask, you look as this comes on the backs of the racist comments made by other council members. There's been so much corruption, it seems, and scandal at LA city government. Of course, you were just speaking about, too, we've seen it nationally as this whole classified documents case plays out with the former president, Donald Trump. Is corruption on the rise in government, or are we just hearing about it more often now?
Yeah, I think it's been said that public corruption is the third oldest profession after prostitution and espionage. And it does feel like we're in an age of corruption, right? Or either that or there's something funny in the council chamber's water cooler. But actually, a 2021 study did find that corruption in the United States was the worst in a decade. And of course, we now have an ex-president indicted for abuse of power and a current president's family under investigations for it. It could be part of this is just we actually are becoming more aware of it and law enforcement is devoting more resources to it. But, the real victims here are not only the taxpayer, but all of us citizens, because these sorts of incidents just make us lose even more faith in the integrity of our government and make us less willing to participate in the democratic process. And that is truly dangerous.
Well, and that's, I've seen a lot of articles over the last several days written about that fact. As we, as you said, taxpayers and citizens, it's good to go after these types of cases, but it's just continuing to divide the country. And here locally, a lot of people just going, I don't have any faith that the city council is going to be able to do what I need them to do for me.
Yeah, it's a problem. And of course, ultimately the jury in all these cases are the voters. And so the obvious tip is pay more attention to who you vote for.
Well, it sounds simple, right? But I think a lot of people, that's a hard practice is to be able to dive in, but certainly good advice.
Well, I think part of it, too, is that a lot of politicians and elected officials are just underpaid. Not that that's an excuse for corruption, but, to some extent, you do get what you pay for. And if the voters and the taxpayers want to do one other thing to maybe avoid some of these scandals, we could probably pay our elected officials a little bit better.
It's an interesting point. Bryan, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.